Hello and welcome. I am Maya Spella Cullins. Welcome to Beyond the Ordinary. I am your host. Sit tight. We have an amazing guest on today, and this is something that you don't want to miss. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with your mom, your father, what that looked like growing up.
He was incarcerated all the way up until I graduated high school in 2001.
I knew it was a toxic relationship, and so I started doubting myself and thinking something was wrong with
you.
Me. Exactly, thinking something was wrong with me.
Lead me up to what happened.
I got struck with a bullet. So the bullet went in and out of my hand and hit the back of my head.
Behind the scene, how did you feel?
It was a different feeling to have somebody be there with you, especially when I was back home. I had real family members and friends who didn't understand,
Hello and welcome to Beyond Ordinary. I am your host, Maya Spella Cullins. And I have Miss Zuri of McCants on today. She is going to talk more about her story. Hopefully you are ready. Please hold on to your seats. She is going to take you for a ride, especially for the women out there. I'm sure everyone can relate, whether you're a female or a male. But her story really hit home. And we're going to allow Zuri to give us some more insight on it. So welcome. Thanks for being on the show, Zuri.
Thank you for having me.
So give me a little bit about your story that you want to share to women or people out there that's watching.
Okay, well, it started, I was in a relationship. I knew it was a toxic relationship, and I was feeling like I could never do anything right. Like, even when I felt like I was doing everything right, you know, it was always something. And I was walking on eggshells. And so I started doubting myself and thinking something was wrong with you. Exactly, thinking something was wrong with me. And then I started to just Google things on the internet to, I'm like, I can't be the only one going through this
same situation.
Yes. And then when I started to do more research, I started to see,
a pattern.
Exactly.
Right.
Women who I've never met before, men I've never met before, having the same experience. Like they were living my life.
Explain what that looks like, or what you mean.
So, for instance, if we went out somewhere and my boyfriend at the time, we went out and we were having a great time, and then all of a sudden, we're having this great time, then we get home and then something's wrong. They just instantly snap at you like, well, why were you doing? Yes, why were you doing that? And then you're sitting there thinking like, well, what did I do? He's like, oh no, you know what you did, and like I said, you're sitting there trying to figure out what's going on, and you have no clue.
Right. So, what suggestions are that you would give to someone and I can understand where you come from. With being in a relationship and you feel like you're walking on eggshells. And of course, a lot of times in relationships with women, I'm sure you can agree, we want to make sure that our man is happy. To the point that sometimes they may think we crazy and it's not us. So when you're battling that and because you've been in that relationship, what suggestions or hope that you can give to someone else that may be watching that say, hey, that's me.
Right. If you ever feel like you have to diminish yourself or you feel like you're losing yourself, then that's a red flag.
Right.
Because somebody who cares about you and loves you is not going to treat you like that.
Right. So when you say losing yourself, even though you've been in a situation and you felt that, what made you stay?
Well, brainwashing is real. Or conditioning is real, and that's the whole thing with being aware of different things. I honestly didn't think that I would ever be in that type of situation.
Of course, we all say that ain't gonna be us,
right? Because I'm a very strong, independent woman. So, and if I saw my friends in that situation, I'd be like, "Girl,
what you doing? Why you don't see the signs?"
Exactly, like what's going on? But you can never you never know until you're in the situation.
Right.
And then you're falling in love with this person because they all have things that they do. It's like a cycle of conditioning that they put people through. And it's like you're trapped. And it's before you know it, you're like in this fog.
Right.
And you're like, what happened? How did I get here?
And I'm glad you said that. So like when you're in a situation and you feel like you're trapped, and it's funny because I've written a book called Behind the Veil, and the book also talks about how in the picture front, how we all have this happy family, everything is lovely, everything is right, but behind the scene, it's a different story. So because you experienced that and being conditioned and going through the process of what the relationship looked like, how did you talk about it? Did you, or was you criticized because of who you are and what you did? And
see, that's another problem, especially with that particular disorder. A lot of narcissistic victims, they don't want to talk to other people because they feel like they're going to be judged.
Yeah.
Or people are going to be like, why don't you just leave? They don't get it. That
it's not
you're trapped in your own mind. You know, you're like, well, I care about this person, but you're fighting with yourself the whole time. And then if you have a friend that's condemning you, they're making it even harder.
Right. So did you ever at any point when you walked away, what was your life like? Tell me about that. What was that experience? Because I know it's not easy. And we talk about it so often. You know, you experienced it. And with knowing that when you walked away, how did you transition? Like, how did you let go? Did you doubt yourself? Did you second guess?
Well, you know what? To be perfectly honest, I was breaking away, but the only reason we completely were done was he cut me off. He cut me off, and like that was the biggest blessing.
Right.
Because I still wanted to be friends.
Right.
You know, I still wanted to have like some kind of contact. And with those individuals, you can't. The best thing for you to do is completely cut all off. Ties, communication, everything.
Right. And what did you learn from it? Like going through that process, what did you learn about you? Because you know, we think we know about us always, and we know who we are. And when you go through those situations, you actually, I mean, it changes you.
Yeah.
It makes you a different woman. It makes you look at life differently. So what was that like for you?
Like I said before, it really made me be more aware. You know, everybody wants to fall in love and everybody wants to find their soulmate, and but you can't do it to the detriment of yourself.
Right.
You know, you have to like be cautious, you know, because people prey on that thing. And these people in particular, they look for people with very like, who are very generous, have big hearts, are giving all the time. Right. But yeah, so now I just, you know, I'm more self-aware.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Look out for the red signs.
Brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, let me look at this and analyze this. Not just so much go with my heart. Like I have to listen to my head.
Right. Before you make a reaction. Because a lot of times you do. And that's good information. So if you had to give 3 things that an individual can look for when they're dealing with a particular situation, like you just said, what would be those 3 things that you would tell the audience if they say, because a lot of times when you're in a situation, you don't know you're in a situation. Right. Everybody else know you're in a situation. And you standing in the midst of a whirlwind and don't know that you're in it. So what are 3 signs that you could give someone that is watching to help them?
I'm thinking about because like I said, they all have a pattern. Right. So if you meet somebody and, you know, it's like that honeymoon phase, they say, number 1, they call it love bombing. So if you meet somebody and they are just everything you want in a man, everything, then kind of, you know, watch out for that. Number 2, if they're always trying to pull you away, like to themselves, or they have a problem with you being with your family, friends, they're trying to isolate you. Right. Red flag. Right. Like red flag. Number 3.
What's your third one?
I'm trying to think. Number 3.
And this is good information.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the third one is. When if they ever put you down, like if they're ever like very loving and then all of a sudden like they put you down or say something like very demeaning or, you know, nobody
to belittle you.
Yes.
Right.
Make you feel like question yourself or nobody should ever do that.
Right.
That's another red flag.
I got you. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to come right back. We got to take a break. But we can stay tuned because when we come back, she's going to give us some information on how she was able to make it through. What spiritual guidance did she use to be able to cope, to bring some sense of peace within herself and people that's around her and how she looked at life. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching Beyond the Ordinary.
Coming up next on Beyond Ordinary.
We long for something. It's something that we are trying to, I don't know. So what I want you to tell me what yours was.
What it was, and now I can touch on my marriage. I felt like I didn't do everything that I possibly could have done to save my marriage. So that was like my next serious relationship. So I had this idea of like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I possibly can
to save this
even
relationship.
Though it's wrong. Even though I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to save this relationship, which I should not have done that because it was the wrong. It was toxic.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what I was. You know, I put that on myself.
Right.
In that relationship when I shouldn't have. So that's why. That's one of the reasons why I held on for so long.
Hello and welcome. I am Maya Spella Cullins. I would like to give you a little information about why you should tune in to my show. We will be addressing issues from mental health to substance abuse issues every day that people struggle with. The truth of the matter is we always put it into a box where it's taboo in many cultures. We look at mental health and substance abuse as one form or one fashion, but not realizing that we are individuals that look just like me that can struggle every day with an issue and not know that it's a problem. So I'm talking to the sisters and brothers out there that are struggling with depression, where you can't get up out of the bed, you feel like giving up and you have no hope. I'm talking to the marriage couples that's out there that's saying, I'm done because of infidelity, because of issues that he or she struggle with. I am the one that you need to tune into so that you can get help. I want to help you, and I want you to open up and allow me to be in your living room at that place and time so that you can do whatever is necessary to save your life and save others around you. Hope is still available beyond your ordinary.
So a lot of times when we lack knowledge and we don't know, we feel like, well, you can be better tomorrow, or you can stop smoking and drinking and doing the things that is basically destroying your family. It's just that simple. Despite of your situation, despite of what I was going through, I was still able to make it out. So not only did I go to school and get my bachelor's, I went right after and got my master's, and now I'm in my last year with my doctoral program. So that just goes to show you that God is able.
Yes, He is.
Yes. So I'm like a solution-focused person. I don't focus on the problem. I focus on what's the solution. That's the problem. What's the solution? So that's what led me here today.
That's
or what
wonderful.
I'm, as you see what I do. So I always do things in a creative way to reach the viewers and to reach the individual, my audience, in a different form of fashion. So I said, well, what better way to do it than be myself? Because I don't know how to be no other way. So the easiest way to be is myself. So if I can be myself and put who I am in my writing, if I could put who I am in the message that I'm delivering, then it's going to come natural. I don't have to try hard. I just do what I do, and it just happens to flow. And that's how successful I've been based off of me doing just that.
Hi, my name is Zuri. Keep watching my episode of Beyond Ordinary.
Are mental or behavioral health issues or addiction affecting you or someone you love? Are you or someone you love addicted to prescription medication? We can help. At Changing Phases Behavioral Support, Inc., our innovative programs combine the best of outpatient care in an intimate, welcoming setting. Serving Marietta and the surrounding areas, we have the privilege of having a host of experienced mental health professionals who specialize in implementing personalized service to reach the community at large. We encourage strong community partnerships and collaborations with our services and various unique programs within our agency for the purpose of enhancing and embracing the individual for a better better future. At Changing Phases Behavioral Support, Inc., you will know that you are not fighting alone. To learn more about how we might be able to help you or someone you love, visit us online at www.changingphasesinc.com or call us today.
Why is mental health important? Mental health is important, especially to me, because if people aren't aware about different things that are going on with themselves, they tend to damage other people. So that's why mental health is like really important to me.
Welcome back, and thanks for continuing to watch Beyond Ordinary. Make sure that you stay connected and go to beyondordinary.tv to stay connected to all our episodes and get more information about our show. So we're going to pick up where we left off, and Ms. Zuri has some more information to share with you as it pertains to her experience and how it can bless you and help you. So give us a little bit about that transition out of the situation. Before we left to take our break, you talked a little bit about the 3 things that if you are in a situation, because we all know if you're in a situation, we may not even know.
Right.
We think we're doing it right.
Right.
So once we recognize that, what's the next step?
Well,
if we want to get out, let me make that clear, because
if you, the more knowledge you have about anything, I think it's helpful. That's what helped me.
Right.
So I started like watching videos, reading blogs. So when I saw these other people going through what I was going through, it helped me to be like, oh, okay, that's me. Like, this is what I need to do to get out of this situation.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, so videos, YouTube was my savior, honey. I used to be on YouTube every day for hours, like
to process everything.
Yeah, to help me, because I still just couldn't understand. I was just like, why am I feeling like this?
Right.
I know this guy is like horrible for me, but why do I still want to be with him?
What did you learn about yourself? Because a lot of times, and I can relate to a certain extent, a lot of times when we go through certain things, especially in relationships, it may not necessarily always be everything about this person, but we find out more stuff about ourselves. So a lot of times we long for something. It's something that we are trying to, I don't know. So I want you to tell me what yours was.
What it was, and now I can touch on my marriage. I felt like I didn't do everything that I possibly could have done to save my marriage. So that was like my next serious relationship. So I had this idea of like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I possibly can
to save this
even
relationship. Though it's wrong.
Even though I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to save this relationship, which I should not have done that, because it was the wrong. It was toxic.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what I was. I put that on myself.
Right.
In that relationship when I shouldn't have. So that's one of the reasons why I held on for so long.
Right. So as Zuri is saying, in better words, so when you are in a relationship, we often stick with that relationship and we want to make it right, especially if we had a previous relationship that failed. But just know that it's okay. At the end of the day, make sure that you don't lose who you are. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose your identity. If any person that you are with, when they are struggling or dealing with whatever the situation may be, allow their struggle to be with them themselves, because we're not God. We can't heal the world. A lot of times we take our hearts and our feelings and wrap it all around. And when it's not good enough, we walk away and then we go to another relationship. And the key to this, and if you can give one piece of advice before we wrap it up, what would that be? What would be the key to it all? Because it sounds like when you're in a relationship and it's not healthy, it's almost like we're in prison in our minds, in our spirit, in our being. So with that being said, what is something, if you can leave them with one nugget before we wrap up the show, what would that one nugget be to give them a hope of inspiration that they can change? And it is better out there.
Well, it's so much better out there. But what helped me was prayer, strengthening my relationship with God, and then also therapy. Like, in the Black community,
yes,
we feel like there's something wrong if you crazy if you go see a therapist. But no, I wasn't the crazy one. He was the crazy one, but he was making me feel like I was crazy.
Right.
So if you ever feel like that, it's nothing wrong with seeking help. Go see a therapist so you can talk to somebody who's going to understand what you're going through.
That's unbiased.
Yes.
And that's not your girlfriend and not your friend.
Exactly.
So thanks for that information. So ladies and gentlemen that are watching, I hope this blessed you. We are definitely going to talk more about this and dealing with individuals. I think the key is when you are in a relationship and one or both of you are struggling with something, because we all have issues in some form or fashion. However, is how you handle it. And it should never be in a degrading way or a way that is hurting and touching home to someone where we're talking about relationships, because I'm sure everyone has been in that situation. But my hearts go out to you. Our blessings, our prayers go to you. There is a way out. It does not have to be what it is. But I do encourage you through this message and through what I'm listening to, take time for yourself. It's okay to love on you, to be you. And whatever that looks like, you don't need approval. So be authentic, love on you, be you, and be who you are. Be blessed. Make sure y'all stay connected. Tune in by logging on to beyondordinary.tv. And I am your host, Maya Stella Cullen.
Coming up next on Beyond Ordinary.
Population, they don't even know they're actually fooled by these people.
Right. So would you agree, or what would you say as it pertains to different relationships, bringing things from your past, how everybody wants to be married and want to be in a perfect relationship, but we have to work on ourselves. And if that does not happen, what does that look like? So when you have that relationship, what does that look like when that person comes in and says, Zuri, I'm here. And you're like, oh gosh, well, this situation didn't work. So now I got to make this situation that's in front of me to be everything that it needs to be. What does that look like?
I mean, but you know what? Usually when you don't work on yourself before you get into another relationship, you end up repeating the cycle. You bring that same type of energy and that same type of person into your life.
Stacy and Daryl are the perfect couple, with the perfect family and the perfect life. Or are they?
As the Lord professed unto me, he who findeth a wife, find a good thing. And I know I got a good thing in my wife.
If someone that you love hurt you, how far would you go to avenge your pain?
You made your own in this world, so why would you stay with him? Why don't you get you a little something on the side? What? Mm-hmm.
If you had an opportunity to pay someone back, would you?
Detective Claus, narcotics. I think you'll provide me with all the assistance that I need. It would seem as if Stacy's boyfriend is trying to expand his empire.
But this woman, she ruined everything. We should never brought her into this.
When your entire world has been built on lies, can you find your way back to the truth?
Don't run away from me. I want to know what that was all about today.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you're gonna talk about it? Narcotics? Boyfriend? You have no idea how I can destroy you, do you?
And you have no idea what I'm capable of.
What secrets will be revealed behind the veil?
Are mental or behavioral health issues or addiction affecting you or someone you love? Are you or someone you love addicted to prescription medication? We can help. At Changing Phases Behavioral Support, Inc., our innovative programs combine the best of outpatient care in an intimate, welcoming setting. Serving Marietta and the surrounding areas, we have the privilege of having a host of experienced mental health professionals who specialize in implementing personalized service to reach the community at large. We encourage strong community partnerships and collaborations with our services and various unique programs within our agency for the purpose of enhancing and embracing the individual for a better future. At Changing Phases Behavioral Support, Inc., you will know that you are not fighting alone. To learn more about how we might be able to help you or someone you love, visit us online at www.changingphasesinc.com or call us today.
Welcome back to Beyond Ordinary. We only scraped the surface with Ms. Zuri McCants on today, talking about relationships, talking about the impact that it can have if it's an unhealthy situation. We're not here to point fingers. We're only here to state true facts and true experiences from our perspective of what we experience. So since I am interviewing this beautiful young lady on today, we're going to go and talk a little bit about that place of loneliness, that place of where nobody may understand, and it could potentially be a place where you're at right now. So hopefully this will inspire you and give you hope. So talk or take me to that place of nobody understands me.
You just feel alone. Mm-hmm. You feel alone because you know nobody's going to understand because you don't even understand.
Right.
So if you don't understand what you're going through and you don't know how to figure out that battle in your own mind, then how is your friends or your family?
Everybody else going to be able, and how they're going to help. Yeah. And so you got to respect the fact that they only can say and see if you agree.
And there are even some therapists because this particular disorder is so undiagnosed and runs so rampant in the population, they don't even know they're actually fooled by these people.
Right. So would you agree, or what would you say as it pertains to different relationships, bringing things from your past, how everybody wants to be married and want to be in a perfect relationship, but we have to work on ourselves. And if that does not happen, what does that look like? So when you have that relationship, what does that look like when that person comes in and says, Zuri, I'm here. And you're like, oh gosh, well, this situation didn't work. So now I got to make this situation that's in front of me to be everything that it needs to be. What does that look like?
I mean, but you know what? Usually when you don't work on yourself before you get into another relationship, you end up repeating the same cycle. You bring that same type of energy and that same type of person into your life. So when you get out of something like this, you shouldn't date.
Right.
You shouldn't. You should work on yourself first and, heal.
Right.
And then,
go forward.
Yeah.
Right. And that is powerful. So thanks for your words. Continue to watch and stay connected. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, but there's more to come. Make sure you check in at www.beyondordinary.tv for more episodes and more information. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Next time on Beyond Ordinary.
It was actually mainly myself. I know growing up, she would physically beat me. We would be fighting you see maybe a high school fight or World Star. We would literally be fighting.
How old? What was the first, when you realized something wasn't right?
Where I was old enough to actually realize I was maybe 10. I was about 10 when I started to realize back to school shopping was, Tay, I didn't find anything in your size, but my other two sisters had a galore, shoes, clothes, and everything. Or when it was time to enroll in extracurricular activities, we don't have the money for you, Tay, but, my sisters were able to, take advantage of those things. So it was mentally and physically straining.
Right.
It really, really was.
How did that impact you as far as your adulthood? Having that relationship, not having that relationship with your father, not being able to turn around to your mother. I know you've seen other females growing up that had that mother love.
Yes,
so how did it leave you? Hello and welcome to Beyond Ordinary. I am your host, Maya Spella Cullins. If you're looking to be a guest on our show, do not hesitate. We want to hear from you. Go to our website at beyondordinary.tv.